Today I'm comparing the Chicago Bears rebuild to that of the Detroit Lions. What's up guys, Swift here covering everything Chicago Bears. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about the state of this rebuild. I plan on doing some deep dives over the next few weeks, possibly during the mini bye, but I had an idea this morning. A Lions fan on Twitter tried to tell me this is not what a rebuild looks like, and it baffled me. The Chicago Bears rebuild is currently following the exact same path that the Detroit Lions did, or at least very closely resembling it. Let me explain. 3 years ago, the Lions fired their general manager and hired GM Brad Holmes. He talked rebuild, just like Ryan Poles did, and he's built the Lions team through the NFL draft. They haven't drafted a new quarterback. They developed the one they had. The Lions rebuild started in 2021. They only won 3 games that season. The difference is they had a first-round pick that year, whereas Ryan Poles didn't have a first-round pick in his first year. They also have a full 1-year head start in the rebuild, so we're 1 year behind them and 4 first-round picks behind them. Brad Holmes' first pick in the first round was Penei Sewell, who has become one of the better right tackles in the NFL. He picked a right tackle 7th overall. Ryan Poles' first pick in the first round, at number 10 overall, right tackle Darnell Wright. The Lions hired a defensive head coach in Dan Campbell to fix their culture. Their defense was awful for their first 2 seasons. The Bears also hired a defensive head coach in Matt Eberflus to fix this culture, and the defense has been awful. The Lions' first year of the rebuild in 2021, they only won 3 games. In the Bears' first season of their rebuild, they only won 3 games. Then in the second year of the rebuild, the Lions started 1-7 in 2022, leading Dan Campbell to start out 4-20-1 as a Lions head coach. The Lions then got hot last year down the stretch, and suddenly everybody forgot how bad they were for such a long time beforehand. The Bears are currently 5-20 under Matt Eberflus. Dan Campbell was 4-20 with a tie. Matt Eberflus is 5-20 and half a game better than him through their first 25 games, but they roughly have the exact same record in their first 25. The Lions roster also had more talent. They had 2 first-round picks in both 2022 and 2023. In the last 3 years, Brad Holmes has picked Jamar Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Aiden Hutchinson, Jamison Williams, and Penei Sewell in the first round. Meanwhile, Ryan Poles has only made 1 first-round pick. That was Darnell Wright. He gets to make 2 picks in the first round next year, possibly with both being in the top 10, just like Brad Holmes has got to do the last 2 years. You can see how much that has helped the Lions take the next step. Ryan Poles plans to do the same thing here in Chicago. The biggest difference between the Bears and Lions right now is that the Lions are 1 full year ahead of us in the rebuild, and that Brad Holmes has made 5 first-round picks in 3 years. The Chicago Bears don't even have 5 homegrown first-round picks on our entire roster right now. The Lions have added that in just 3 years. Ryan Poles will get to add 2 first-round picks next year after only making 1 in his first 2 years, thanks to Ryan Pace not valuing our draft picks. So overall, no, I don't think there's any chance that Ryan Poles gets fired in this offseason. He is doing this rebuild the right way, and I think the wins will come. As for the coaching staff, I think a lot of that depends on how they finish the season. Will they finish strong like Dan Campbell did last year? Or will they continue to falter and come up short? That will tell the story of Matt Eberflus and this coaching staff. But as of today, the jury is still out. And for anyone who doesn't see that Ryan Poles is doing this pretty similarly to the way the Detroit Lions have in this rebuild process, you just aren't looking hard enough. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Remember to hit that like button for me. If you missed my Tevin Jenkins All-22 from last night, check that out. I should have a Montez Sweat All-22 out later. Stay tuned, and until next time, bear down.